I think that's been more so the stance. You're not seeing Doge doing what Doge did on the outside. They came in very zealous and very excited, and I think they've dialed it back.
Yeah, because Elon got the fuck out of there because he realized it was affecting his real business.
Yeah. That's what he's still doing it. He's just not as outward on it. But I think they've dialed it back.
They named the new president, right? The guy who created Project 2025 is the new head of Doge. Forgot his name though.
No, I don't think so. Elon Musk is still there.
No, he's not.
He's still working in Doge. He's just taking a step back from the limelight. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
We recently broke down new evidence in the.
Do you realize what she just said? Elon Musk is still there. He's just taking a step back from the limelight. So that means he's still, and it's not a surprise to me, right? This is expected. It's just for her to actually come out and admit it, right? So it's not just me, I'm a partisan, whatever. This is someone on, she's in that circle, and she's telling you that Elon Musk is playing us, right? I'm just going to be low visibility, right, to get you guys to calm down while I continue to destroy the government as I've done before. Anyway, this was a horrible interview. This is Tomi Lahren believes in freedom, supports Trump's tariffs, and declares she's not a racist. Nice title. This is a horrible interview, and I'm going to explain to you very, very simply. It would not be appropriate for me, let's say there was a major story going on in the hip hop world, right? Some major beef or just something, a big, big story. I would not be the person to do that interview, right? I listen to hip hop, I like hip hop, but I don't know the business, right? For me, it's just music I'll listen to while I'm working out or I'm hanging out or whatever it is. I don't even know. I would say 99% of the songs, I don't know any of the lyrics at all whatsoever, right? Maybe there's a part of the hook or something like that, but I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know who these people are. I don't know whether they're married or what kind of family they got or how much money they're making. I don't know nothing about hip hop to that level to speak coherently about it and to do like an interview, right? That's why I have no place doing those kinds of interviews. Charlamagne is me. Me for hip hop is Charlamagne, the god for politics. He just listens to politics while he's working out or hanging out, right? He's got it in his playlist. I don't mean that literally, right? I'm making an analogy, right? So he's just a casual consumer. He likes the beat, right? Charlamagne likes the beat of politics, but he does not know the business. And it's not just a matter of he does not know the business. He doesn't care to know because he's making a lot of money. He's got this whole program. I'm sure he's got an assistant and all these kinds of things. He's got resources. So if he chose to, he could be better prepared for this interview. But he's not even interested like that, right? He's a casual observer. So it's just kind of like me, take the interview situation out of it. If I were to bump into some big rap artist or something and have the opportunity to talk to them, it wouldn't be anything of any substance, right? It wouldn't be, how could you meet, 50 Cent and not ask him about why he did blah, blah, or ask him about his third album when he did it. I have nothing interesting like that. It would just be generic questions. You know what I mean? And then if he says something stupid, I wouldn't know, right? He could say something totally ridiculous and I just wouldn't know. I don't know the business of hip hop, right? That's what happens here. Charlamagne got asked her questions. And I think a lot of liberals might like that he's asking the questions that he's asking, and maybe that's the point. But then she's able to just say whatever nonsense, and most of the time it's not decent pushback. And it seems like Charlamagne just doesn't really know the facts, right? So she's able to lie and twist things. Basically, Charlamagne is basically being, it just coming to me, he's basically being the brown-skinned Joe Rogan. That's what he's doing. It's like Joe Rogan invites some, supposed scientist guy who comes on there and says some nonsense. And, Joe Rogan's not a scientist, right? So he doesn't know what the hell the guy's saying. And he's just sitting there, oh, wow, that's amazing. Oh, man. So I think that's a little bit insulting, maybe to say he's being like a brown skinned Joe Rogan, because unlike Joe Rogan, I don't see that Charlamagne is being moved. So that's the one difference. He's not being moved by her. Like, she didn't say nonsense, and he's like, "Oh, that's actually a good point." Now, he did agree with her on some stuff, some nonsense that she said, but generally speaking, he would ask her sort of a controversial question, and she would blow it off and lie and manipulate and say some nonsense, and he wouldn't really have anything to add, and he'd just move on to the next question. So, I was happy to see in the comment section a lot of people were not having it. I think it's unfortunate that the reason that they probably weren't having it probably are not very substantive. Some were, I'm sure, but I think many of them, they just look at her as like she's this racist white lady, they think about the Kaepernick situation, and so they're looking at her through very biased lenses. So it didn't really matter what she said. They're probably gonna be like, she's a liar, whatever. But that's not everyone. Some of them do see through the BS, and they are looking at it to somewhat objectively in terms of understanding the question being asked, understanding her not answering the questions, understanding her deflecting. But it's just, this was a really bad interview. I think, unfortunately, there's going to be a percentage of his audience who are just not really critical thinkers, and she put on a pretty good show of being like a normal person. I mean, she would literally be doing something while saying that she's not doing it. Like she said, some of these right-wingers, they like to just, defend everything MAGA does. And then she proceeds to do the entire interview defending everything MAGA does. Like, almost no critiques at all. Every single thing. "Oh, Trump is great. Yeah, I love what he's doing. Yeah, that's great and that's awesome. And trust the process. Trust him." And nothing substantive. The only critique she has is just enough to give the appearance of objectivity, right? Like, she'll say things like, "Oh, Doge, they kind of started, they were a little bit zealous in the beginning, but they've toned it down," right? That's the best you're going to get out of her. I think this guy needs to stay in his lane, man. Really need to stay in his lane. And I'm not saying anything unique. I'm saying the same thing he would say, right? Imagine I interviewed 50 Cent, right? For some reason, 50 Cent, instead of going on this show or some other show, he came on my show. Imagine how horrible of an interview that would be. Core questions that anybody who is really into music would want to be asked, and I don't ask it. And then he says stupid things. Maybe he lies to me, says, maybe there's some kind of beef going on, and he claims the other person started it. And everybody knows, no, 50 Cent started it, and they have all the history. But I don't have the history. So when he denies it, I'm just like, "Oh, okay, I thought blah, blah, blah," right? What would Charlamagne the God say about that? Would I get donkey of the day for interviewing 50 Cent and doing a horrible job because I don't know what I'm talking about? I think so, right? So my view on him is, I think, the same way he would view somebody else doing exactly what he's doing. Either stay in your lane, right? Talk about things that you know about, or if you're going to go outside of your lane, do at least some kind of research, right? Like, for example, if you're going to, I see this all the time. If you're going to bring on a right winger and you're going to challenge them on something like, "Oh, Trump said this," and you don't already know what the right wing talking point rebuttal is in advance, like, amateur hour, what are you doing? Like, how do you not know what the right wing talking point is for the thing you're going to bring up? Then you're going to ask a question almost seeming like, "Oh, I'm going to get them on this one." Like, "Oh, well, how do you explain Trump, blah, blah, blah?" And you don't already know what the person's going to say based on what the right-wing rebuttals are. And the person may deviate from common rebuttals, right? But when they don't, and then you have nothing, meaning that you didn't even do some basic level research, and this is your job that you get paid very well for? Come on. This is Debate Me channel. Debate Me in the comment section below. Click on the like button, subscribe, smash that bell. Be well. This video is going to get maybe 50 views, 3 likes, maybe 10 comments. Right? But Charlamagne gets to half-ass an interview, and he's going to get paid a lot of money for this, just like he does every single day that he goes to work. Interesting.